The old game systems were not as simple as you might think. They did have big plans in store for them, and Intellivision would be one such example. They had numerical keypads, as well as computer keyboards. There was a voice synthesizer, and eventually the Aquarius system. But the most elusive add-on is the full-sized piano keyboard. And yes, it really did exist. And since we're dealing with unusual add-ons, I decided to include the Sega 3D glasses as well as the VictorMax. Now, I couldn't get anybody to model it because they were too embarrassed, so I had to get a substitute. And that's why you see the giraffe and the deer. The background with the trees might look a little tacky, but there were pictures taken in a deck patio, and they didn't turn out very good, so that's why you're looking at the foliage in the background. And coming up next will be a live video sequence featuring the Intellivision keyboard. And you can see that the graphics are not as good as the photos, but it does give a more in-depth viewpoint. So that will be coming up next.
Well, there was a lot of question as to whether, back in the olden days, high-tech devices really existed. Well, there was a lot of talk about the Intellivision music synthesizer. And here serves as proof that it really does exist. As you can see, it is full-sized. Meaning that the keys are normal size, it's not a smaller device, and it's full scale. Now here's what it looks like next to the kind that you buy in the store today. You can see there's not that much difference as far as the keys. The key difference is looking at it diagonally or sideways. You'll see that this is barely longer than a Genesis 3 system. It's actually smaller, it's actually narrower than a DVD case. You can see the DVD case is actually... So in contrast, let me just give you a comparison here. Here's a regular keyboard. Now look at how big that looks next to the Intellivision synthesizer. And here's how it looks this way. So not that much difference this way, but that way. And in case you're curious, this is what the Intellivision looks like when you gut it. This is Intellivision right here. This is the cartridge port. Here's a writing right here. See that? Intellivision, 1987. So, I gutted out an NES, and the NES was actually smaller than this, but I don't have it right now. Okay, now as far as things existing, here of course is the Virtual Boy. Famous system. However, long before the Virtual Boy, there was the VictorMax. Put a lot of thought into it. And before then, there was the Sega 3D glasses. So for the Sega Master System, you would use those, and they really gave you a three-dimensional depth because it was electronic, the electronic waves. It was not like the cheap 3D glasses. So you had a taste of the future back in 1980. I think it was 1988 actually, using the Sega 3D glasses, and the games such as Maze Hunter 3D and Zaxxon 3D were really showed off its powers. Also note that the Victor Max came with this little thing right here. So essentially, this had its power, and it could hook up to Sega Genesis, or I think the Super Nintendo was like the standard, but it was compatible with both. Okay, there you have it. Sayonara.